What do you do when the honeymoon is over? As an expat, an immigrant, all the newness is gone, and then now life settles in. And then sometimes it's like oh, it's not really what I thought it was. So I did a video a few weeks back about what happens when the honeymoon ends from my perspective, where I am on my journey. But I felt that it was important to ask someone who's been here a lot longer than I have and see what her journey has been. And I believe that we can all learn from that and be encouraged and say, oh, all right, I'm going to just kind of chill and just see what happens. So today, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing my friend Ife. Ife is also an expat here in our beautiful Panama. And she has graciously agreed to chat with me today about what her journey has been. And I know you're going to be interested in that because we all have a story, don't we? So sit tight, get a drink, a glass of wine, whatever, and just enjoy the story. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Maggie. I am a retired nurse practitioner, and I have been living in Panama as a fully retired person for almost 4 years now. I absolutely adore Panama still, after 4 years, almost. I am also the creator of SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad, a group of sassy older ladies, don't you look sassy? Who have made a conscious decision to retire abroad, chosen Panama, and we are intentional about creating community, live our best lives while we reinvent ourselves. But as I always say, the ultimate goal of SWRA is to create a newer model of aging abroad that is sustainable and affordable. If this is you, if any of this sounds of interest to you, I'd like you to consider liking the video, share it with your friends, your girlfriends, your family, and subscribe to the channel. I thank you. I told you we have reached 20K, 20,000 subscribers, and I am forever grateful. But let's keep growing, right? So hit that subscribe button. I thank you. So Miss Ife,
Hey.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be here on the show. I don't know what kind of show I'm talking about.
My pleasure being on the show.
But Ife is somebody that I admire because let me tell you, she's spunky. She is into AI, and the rest of us are like, and she's like, get into it for gardening, for everything, right? So I can't wait to talk to Ife about her story, how she got here, and how she has evolved, as a fully integrated immigrant in Panama. So Ife, por favor, take a few minutes and just let the people know, who you are and how you ended up in Panama.
Okay. I had friends. There was a group of us in Atlanta who wanted to live abroad. And as God would have it, some of us have gone to Belize. Some of us went to St. Lucia. Some of us went to Ghana. And some of us came to Panama.
Okay.
And so it is because of my dear friend Kathleen who found Panama for us. That is why I am here.
And you've been here how many years?
I have been here 15 years.
So there are
love it.
People who've been here this long. So be encouraged. All right, the story gets even better.
I have been here 15 years. And because we had visited Panama several times before we relocated, we knew the full breadth of Panama.
Good.
And we had been from one end of Panama to the other.
Before you decided to?
Before we moved, because Kathleen lived here and she lived in Chitre, which is about 4 hours from Panama City. That's right. Mm-hmm. And so she met us, when we first came, she met us in El Valle, which is a beautiful area. Area. And we went to Chitre with her.
Okay.
And we stayed in Chitre for about 4 or 5 days. And Chitre is officially in the interior. And it was beautiful going into the interior because you see how Panamanians really live.
It's not,
You
the
know,
city is
and
not
it
all
is
of
not the
family.
city, absolutely.
Yes.
And the thing is that, you know, I mean, I'm from New York, so I know you have to be different to be in the city
Yes.
than, you know, when you're at home place.
Mhm.
And so getting acquainted with Panama through being in Chitre first and then going to places in the interior made us very comfortable being in the city. And so we made, in 2008, we made a 3-year plan to move in 2011. And when I retired from the university, North Carolina Central University, I'm a reference librarian, we moved to Panama 1 month later.
And you say we, you and?
Myself and my husband, Ken.
Okay, all right. So, and I did the same thing. I don't know if you knew that, but when I did a couple of scouting trips,
Mhm.
I didn't have any friends in El Valle.
Right.
I just took the little buses.
Right, that's
Yes.
right, yes.
I stopped in El Valle. I'd sit for a couple of days, and I moved to PANAMA.
That's right, I went Panama.
And went all
Love
around.
Panama.
Went to Boquete, did
That-
all of that,
that's
and then
right.
went to Bocas,
Right.
and turned around, came back to
That's
the
right,
city.
that's right.
And then
And
I
we have
said-
been through across the country and back.
And I think it's good.
Oh, it absolutely is good, because then you get a feel for the real Panamanian people, the way the real Panamanians are in their natural environments, because they are kind, they are thoughtful with the values of faith, family, and community. And that is one of the
In La
reasons.
Patria.
You see, La Patria.
They're proud of their
Their
country, La Patria.
And which is one of the reasons why we decided to live in a Panamanian community. We chose not to live in what we called an expat enclave. We wanted to live around Panamanians, and so
So I want you to know, I took a bus here to come to her little enclave, and yes, it's outside the city. And I was coming through on the taxi, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in the US. It's quiet, something that I'm not familiar with, from where I live. It's like the siren and all that. Yes, it's quiet, it's green. She's got a yard, and I'm like, wow, yes.
I am surrounded by the old woods.
So you do need to get around so you could see all of Panama.
Well,
That's
what I
just
say
the
is,
city.
when I tell people about this area, I say, to see how the other third lives, because a lot of people live at the coast, a lot of people live in the city. But
What about-
this is a suburb. This is basically a suburb of Panama City, and so this is how the other third lives.
Yes. All right, so let's get going. So in 2008,
In 2008, we made our plan. In 2011, we moved.
okay. So the point that I want to get across with this video is that when you first get here, do you feel like you had like what I call a honeymoon phase, where you're just so happy and grateful and you're in love with the beauty of the place and everything is new, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then, when you look at honeymoon, if you go to chat or whatever, and it's like, it's not just the ceremony of going on a trip. That's not it. After you get, relationship or whatever, it could be a year, could be 2 years where you're still on that high, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to say that what happens to you as an expat when you become an immigrant now, because in your mind, you're like, this is it. This is home. So when do you feel that there's been a shift? Because for me, I think there's been a shift. I feel like I'm still in love with Panama, but the stars are kind of dimming a little bit. It's not like everything is, oh my God, I got to go here, got to go there. And then when I see new expat, I said, yeah, go ahead, adelante. That's what you do when you first get here. But me, I'm setting into a routine. Did you have anything similar happen to you?
Well, I think that a couple of things. That first, because we did not live in a place that there were any other expats, because we lived on the road to El Valle, our first house.
Oh, that's where you
That's
were
right.
first.
Our first
Okay.
house was on the road to El Valle. And, but before talking about honeymoon, I think that not so much a honeymoon, so much as when we first moved here, it was like we felt a weight go off of us. That is the most prevailing sentiment
Mhm.
that we can express.
Mhm.
It felt like a weight. And after a few days, my husband and I are like, whew, it's just like a feeling you don't understand.
lighter.
You feel lighter for some reason. And we were talking about it, and then we were talking about other people. Do you feel that? Because the weight of the United States and everything that the United States represents was off of our shoulders.
And you don't even realize that.
That was the thing. Because we was like, what is it? Because we were like, okay, yeah, we feel this way, but why? But it was the weight of the United States. And of course, the United States has a target on its back for one reason, good, bad, or indifferent, but there are no targets on Panama. You know what I mean? And so all of that, and I'm from New York, with the World Trade Center and all of that stuff. I am born and raised in New York City.
Yeah.
So I know about the weight of living in the United States.
And
so all of that,
other people even feel it stepping in the airport.
Oh, absolutely. Early on. We felt it very early on.
Yes.
It was just, it was palpable. And so that was the thing. And so we did have a friend, and she found, I found the house, and she went to look for the house. Okay. So we moved into a house. We don't know anybody. We're there. We're Americans, and we got
in that El Valle area.
On the road to El Valle.
Okay.
It was on the road to El Valle in Las Uvas. So that was our very first house. And so we're there, Americans, we don't know anybody. I do. I speak Spanish.
Then.
I spoke Spanish then.
Okay.
Because I'm not very. I know I minored in Spanish in college.
Oh.
I also took 5 levels of Spanish for librarians when I was in the public library.
All right.
I also did Rosetta Stone when I came here.
All right.
Language is a thing. So, but in any case, we were there in the community. We don't know anyone in that, and so it was beautiful. It was a location. It had 5 mango trees of different types of mangoes. There are different types of mangoes, and we had a lemon tree, bananas and plantains. And avocados. This was a wonderful property. It was absolutely, and so we were just, making tea and picking mangoes and squishing
and
them
with the weight of fresh fruit.
It was like
was a rebirth.
It was absolutely fantastic, very freeing. I'm from New York. My husband was from Ohio.
Such a different environment.
So different. So different. And so, we were feeling good and everything. And so of course, but we are Americans, we are, 21st century Americans. So things like the internet matter. And so that's where things got to be,
a little interesting.
The joy, absolutely. And so we had, it was 2011, and we had the internet on a flash drive. On my computer.
I don't remember that. But
that was a Panamanian thing. I don't know what they did that. They hadn't done that in the U.S. when we were there. But this was a Panamanian thing.
Right.
The internet is like on a flash drive. Okay, so we had the internet on a flash drive. We thought we were all hooked up and everything. So we went out to our house and, and we put in our little flash drive, and it was like, nothing working. It was like, okay. And so, and then sometimes it would work, and then sometimes it wouldn't. Well, the one time I was just so frustrated that I had my laptop in my hands, and I am going on my lawn, trying to pick up a signal. Oh, and I know they're wondering, what is this gringo up to? Out here. But I was desperately trying to pick up a signal, to no avail, frankly. And the other thing that brought things home to us in terms of the location, which was wonderful, on the road to El Valle, which is a wonderful location, and we went there and went to the hot springs and really enjoyed El Valle trip. However, being on the road coming from El Valle meant that when the buses passed our houses, they were full. So for us, we were like maybe 2 kilometers from the main highway
road.
Right. But everything that came from El Valle.
So did you just hang?
Well, I'm just saying, nothing stopped.
Oh,
the buses didn't stop.
Oh,
they didn't stop. The cabs didn't stop. The buses didn't stop because they was full, because they were coming out of El Valle.
So what, so you had no way to get,
And so we found this out when we were going to a dinner date with some other friends,
Mhm.
some other expats. And so we're standing out there waiting for the bus, right? Like you do.
Right.
So we're waiting for the bus and the buses are just passing and for an hour, oh my gosh, we're supposed to be going to dinner with
Right,
these
right.
people, so in any case, that's when we realized that, being on the road from Vallier was not that great a thing
Yes.
because everything passed
It
us
cut
by.
you
And so we ended up walking to the highway, to the autopista, because you're right off the autopista.
Yes,
It was
yes.
like, a kilometer and a half. We ended up walking there, and getting on the bus to go to the place. But,
So did you have to do that on a regular?
well, I mean, if it wasn't during rush hour times,
It was okay.
it was okay. But let's say we were trying to do it at like 5 o'clock,
In the afternoon?
because we were going to dinner.
Right.
Okay. And so, it was that. I mean, if you're in the middle of the afternoon, it's that kind of, even cabs, that kind
Did
of
you
stuff.
ever consider getting a car, a vehicle?
No,
Right.
because my husband had high blood pressure and, he kind of stroked out in Raleigh, and so I made the executive decision that we would not have a car.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a car either.
I had a car. I bought a car after I divorced Kim.
Okay.
Right. But at that time,
Yeah.
I made the executive decision not to have a car.
Okay.
So, but then we moved to this location,
Mhm.
which has, this is the Barriata that has buses coming directly to the front door.
Right, right. So when I live here, do I have to walk to the
No,
end of the road?
you just walk to the entrance when
And
you
then
came
the
in.
bus would pass?
The bus comes there.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta make sure I get back.
And we even have a bus stop now. The bus stop is new. I mean, this year.
And I saw all the metro stations in
This
progress.
this is the last stop for the third line of the metro, Ciudad del Futuro.
Yes.
This is the
This is
third.
gonna be
This
exciting.
this is it. That's right. They broke ground right here at the corner where you were
Mhm.
at 2021 around January 3rd or 4th. They broke ground, and so this is the last stop on the metro.
So you think maybe it will be done by next year?
It
They
was
said 26. I doubt it.
well, it was slated to be 2025
Oh.
until, I don't know, I don't want to get controversial,
Mhm.
but they were supposed to go kind of like a sidecar onto the bridge.
Okay.
That was originally.
Mhm.
Then someone paid someone, I believe, and now they're going under the water,
Yes.
which extended the cost, extended the
Maybe
time,
a tunnel.
extended everything in terms of getting on this side.
Gotcha.
And so that's when it moved to 2028 is really
Oh,
is what they're saying now.
well, for the time.
But now they're like half full. They're halfway through.
Mhm.
Because you see, at my end, we're ready. Okay,
Yes, yes.
we're ready.
I'm thinking.
I'm gonna have to show you the
27.
other end.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
So, are you enjoying this? If you are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right, Ife. So you moved over here. You're in an area, we don't need to say where you are,
Okay.
in West Panama Oeste. And when I did the walkthrough videos, I told you that this is Panama Oeste. See?
Panama West, that's it.
Panama Oeste, which is
It's
the
new.
newest
It's
province.
the newest province.
And where she's in one of the districts. Okay, so you have those mid-side buses, like I said, I've
We
been
call them coasters.
coasters. Yeah, that's a good word. I have been all around the country on these buses. The big buses to go to Chiriquí or Chitre, and these little ones.
The coasters. Mm.
If you don't have to be on one of those buses, don't. They drive cray. They do not stop for turn. They go full blast. I don't know what it is. I have driven with the chickens and all kinds of livestock inside. I remember.
You must be on a Diablo because
Girl,
they don't let
no.
they don't let chickens on the
When I was going from Las Tablas to Chitre, they also
Oh, okay.
like
See, but you're in the interior.
in the interior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have been with the chickens. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
I don't mind. I didn't mind the chickens. I just don't want to die when one of those drivers make it. They're just crazy. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Well, when we came here, there were no coasters. There were only Diablos and taxis. There were no, and of course, there was no public buses. There were no trains. there were no-
Diablos.
Oh, I love the Diablos.
Somebody sits in my lap, and I'm like, I don't know. You go ahead.
They all do. You hold people's bags when they're standing up. That kind of thing. I love. They play music.
Loud. Loud and there's no AC.
Well, no, they're there. Oh, well, no, on the
The
Diablo,
Diablos,
on the Diablo.
no AC.
No AC on the
But
Diablo.
anyway, and then you hear compa. They love compa music. But
Yeah.
anyway, so you're here in this lovely place.
Yes.
It is a, one story. It looks like any subdivision in the US. And to me, the calm,
It
the
is very
quiet
calm. And it is
just
this way.
priceless.
It is
Okay.
this way.
But just like a sister who lives in Alto, Panama,
Oh, see.
she's got the cabs just go through for $1 and takes them to the main road.
Oh, right. We're
Do
seeing
you
that
have
now.
any taxis come down your street, or you just have to walk
No,
to
you
the
have to
end?
walk to the end.
Okay, so that's a little different.
Yeah, no.
So if you want,
Because the bus comes right out front. I'm saying
Mhm.
cabs don't have to come because they know that we could just walk to the corner.
and a walk to the front is what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you need to go like to the pharmacy, I recorded a bunch of stores,
Yeah.
pharmacy, Ray. Do you do the same thing? You walk to the
Okay,
main road and
I walk to the exit there and get on the
Mhm.
bus
okay.
and go to wherever
And
I need
go
to
wherever
go.
you need to
Right,
go.
right.
Okay.
To the left, to the right, or just to the outside.
Okay. Are there hospitals and stuff close to
In La
here?
Chorrera,
I'm not sure that. So
La Chorrera.
going a little bit
a
more
little bit
west.
further, but we have mini meds out here.
Okay.
And in fact, the big area here, commercially and otherwise is
Mhm.
Costa Verde.
Okay.
Costa Verde has a Price Mart, which is like
Right. We've been there. So
Costco
it's like
equivalent.
a little bit further this way, west.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
How far is Costa Verde from here?
It's very short.
10,
Hop, skip, and a jump.
15?
No, not 10,
Not
15.
even.
Well,
Okay.
if you're on, because what I do, I'm on the bus
Right,
now because
right.
my car is not working.
Mhm.
So I got on the bus and maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so.
But
depending on
I
how we stop.
appreciate Ife. Sometimes we have events in the city and she makes an effort to show up. So we appreciate that. So let's go back to your story.
Okay.
So you are in this area. You love it because now you can
Love
have
it.
internet.
I have as soon as we moved out of there, I think it was the location because it is remote and it's up and it's
Yes, the
weird.
signals.
But as soon as we moved here, there was no problem. We had cable onda and everything. We lived happily ever after. Internet.
So when you were in El Valle and you made the decision 2008, was it with the mindset that this was going to be of your forever home? Or were you saying, well, let's try it and see if it works
No,
out?
we moved here as a permanent home.
Okay.
From the beginning, we sold our house.
Mhm. So that was it.
We sold our house in Raleigh and in May, and then we got on the plane and came here. I'm saying so. Yeah,
Mhm.
this
Okay.
this was
So
this
this
was
this is a forever home.
it was a
I think
lifetime.
it's a good mindset, right? Because
Yeah.
some people relocate, but they say, well, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try here and there and there.
And the thing is, even the permanent thing, people do in different ways.
Mhm.
Some people, still go back to their homes,
Mhm.
in other states and have part of the year here, part of the year there, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Even people who are like permanent
Mhm.
do it differently.
Mhm. That's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people keep going back and forth because of grandkids. Or
Absolutely, you have your connection. Oh, absolutely. So a lot of people go back and forth more, and they just, but they still permanent.
Right,
But
that
they-
doesn't change.
Right,
the
but
permanency.
they still, they go back and forth more.
Mhm. So how have you settled? I keep going back to the
Mhm.
honeymoon. You talk about the weight being lifted and
Right.
you love the how you feel, right, when you're here. So was there a point where you felt yes, this was your forever home, but where you kind of own that this is it and I have to embrace this culture and where I'm at and the people. How long did that take you to get there?
Well, because we moved into this subdivision after being 6 months. We moved here. The
Mhm.
first 6 months we were on the road to
In El
Hawaii.
Valle.
After that, we rented a house here
Mhm.
from another expat who had to deal with some situations.
Okay, I was gonna ask you how you found it.
Actually, it was there used to be a ladies' lunch in the city
Oh.
with expats and people,
Uh-huh.
and it was monthly, and it was all women.
Mhm.
And so I went to that, and what I did every month was ask people where they lived. I'd say, "Where do you live?"
Uh-huh.
And I would go to where they lived.
Right.
And so that's
Check it
how,
out.
that is why I found a lot of different parts of Panama that a lot of people don't know about, because I said, "Oh, can I go there? Like, is bus transportation, having public transportation was important to me because we didn't have a
Of
car.
course.
So I said, do buses go there? They said yes. And so I went to 4 or 5 different people's homes. And indeed, one time I sat next to someone, Jean Harris, and I asked where she lived, and she lived in Nuevo Arejan, which is what this is. This is Nuevo Arejan. And so I said, can I go? Check
it out.
And so we went to the mall and picked up my husband, you know, because it was a ladies' lunch and he was hanging out. He was hanging out in the mall.
Waiting.
He was hanging out in the mall. And so we picked him up and we drove out here, you know, and you know, it was absolutely fantastic. And so let's say 5 months in, I was like, you know, we want to stay in this area because we absolutely loved it. We wanted to be in an expat. We wanted to be in an area with Panamanians. And so we looked for a place and we ultimately found a place right here. I had to go to La Prensa, the regular newspaper, and I found a listing in here and we moved into a permanent house there, which we were in for 13 and a half years. And I've been here in this house for a year.
Wow, but still love the area.
You know, that I think that being, okay, I grew up on a dead end street, okay, and the street that we were on, in fact, all streets here are dead end streets because we're surrounded by old woods. Okay. And in terms of the comfort level, because I was on a dead end street, which is my comfort level. I grew up in the suburbs, even though I'm in New York, I grew up in the suburbs. That is my comfort level. And so being, you know, it came very easily falling into the lifestyle here.
I get it.
And my neighbors were just very, very warm. You know, at first everybody was just saying hi, you know, that kind of thing, which was very nice. You know, there were only 7 houses on the block. So, you know, it's really like a close-knit, you know, kind of situation. And I'm a quilter. And so I made a quilt for the baby of my neighbor across the street.
Oh,
having a baby. And I made a quilt for her and I put to the Soto family and I put, you know, the baby's birthday and her name, but I made it to the whole family.
Yeah.
And so
I'm sure they love
that, you know, yes, that was,
and it was a nice intro, breaking the ice.
Really. Well, and actually it was initially, that particular person, Sohei, gave me a ride and she told me her mother died. This is how it actually started. And I was expressing my concern, you know, et cetera. And, you know, she didn't speak any English. But then I called my friend who was Panamanian, Medi Allen, and I said, well, what do people do, you know, what do you bring to, you know, when people have passed away? Because, you know, we bring food, we give money.
Well, that's being culturally sensitive.
And because I didn't want to I didn't want to do the wrong thing. And so she said, coffee. She said, bring coffee and coffee fixings. And so that's what I did. I got two things of coffee and creamer and, you know, sugar.
Them in the basket or whatever.
No, I just, you know, I just took it over there with a card, with a sympathy card.
Right.
And so, and shortly thereafter, because she was pregnant at that time, shortly thereafter, she had the baby, you know, and I made the quilt for her and, you know, and took it over there because, you know, that kind of circle of life kind of thing. And what really touched me was that 4 years later, Raul, that's the dad of the family, came over and said that they gave the quilt to his niece who had a baby.
Oh.
And so my quilt is part of the Soto family. That is part of the Soto. Absolutely. And so I felt so honored that they were having my quilt as a part of the community.
But that was a great act of kindness towards, you know, a local, and then for you to be sensitive enough to ask someone, because sometimes we assume or we bring our own ways into a new culture.
And the interesting thing is that Medi was saying that in terms of the food and stuff, she said, you know, you don't want to food, especially if you don't know them and stuff like that, because it seems like they don't have money to make food. It's like an insult, more of an insult. That, you know, I mean, and this is just the person.
And you got to be so careful.
Exactly, because I did not know. That's why I asked Mary. That's why I asked Medi, and so I was glad I got the coffee and took it. And then, you know, because we had struck up a relationship, you know, I decided to make the quilt and take it over there for the baby.
And you also mentioned that you had a business at some point, a touring. Did you
Yeah, we
discuss
had a
that?
tour and transportation business. We were Beep before Beep. We were
Yeah.
Black expats exploring Panama.
Oh.
We were really Beep. And my husband and I did tours. That's because when you move someplace, at first it was like friends, and then it was friends of friends, and then it was friends of friends of friends of friends, and it was like, I think we need to create a business because we are doing a lot of touring of people and helping people out, and we don't even half know them. So we need to start charging. So yes, we had a tour and transportation service, and we had a blog. So we have been across the country.
Done so much.
We love Bocas del Toro, especially
Love
Bastamento. Want to shout out Bastamento, the black hand side of Bocas del Toro.
Yes. Y la comida.
The community is just so close. There are no cars or anything there, and it's just a beautiful.
I love it. I just don't know that I want to get around on boats all the time.
Oh, see, that's for me, because I'm afraid of water, so it's not something where I was going to be, living there, because I'd have to depend on a boat to get me somewhere.
I love to visit.
Absolutely.
And I don't like to be in these little hotels that's standing on stilts over the water. No me gusta.
I know that's right.
That-
I know that's
But
right.
anyway, so Ife, after 15 years, my God, she knows this community like the palm of her.
I love this.
Have you ever considered being a
citizen?
citizen?
Yeah, you can, you can if you have your permanent residency, it used to be, you can apply for Panamanian citizenship. And we made a conscious choice not to, because we don't need to be involved in Panamanian affairs, and we let Panamanians take care of their own business.
Zip it.
And also, because the United States, good, bad, or indifferent, they have more bounce internationally than Panama. I'm talking, a U.S. passport has more bounce than a Panamanian passport.
And you have to make the decision, what do you get out of it?
Absolutely.
Right? So, and we can live in peace here, just mind your own business, and that's fine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we chose not to.
So what is it about Panama, because this is home for you,
This is home.
that makes you feel grateful and thankful every single day? What is it about this country, besides the weight being lifted on a day to
My
day
neighbors,
to day?
the people, my neighbors, the people, absolutely. They are so warm and so helpful. I mean, even strangers. I don't mean just people in my complex. I've fallen down several times, and in different places, and I'm surrounded by people helping me get up.
And that's important.
That's also,
as we get older.
Also, I'm standing on the line, and someone reminds me, the Jubilado line is over there. I'm like, thank you so much. So I get to go to the shorter line.
I took a taxi. She told me how to take the taxi to get to her from the bus stop, and then we go to the gate. Like my house in Florida. So she called them to tell her I was coming, and then when the guard asked me my name, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, take her to Mrs. So and so," and then he's like, "Oh yeah." I said, "Do you know Miss Ife?" He said, "Yeah, I've taken her around a few times," and Ife was coming down the street. She's like, "Yeah, that's her."
Yes. Yeah.
That was the cab driver. And I think that's a way a lot of people get around in smaller communities.
And if you choose to, and in recent years, we have InDrive, which is the local Uber.
You can get that here?
Yep, yeah. And Uber out here. And so the newbies in the community use that. I personally do not.
Okay.
But because
that's good to know.
I get around public transportation and cabs. That's how way I go.
I use
But
public
yes.
transportation in the city,
But
but
InDrive, yeah.
I use Uber. But that's good to know that you can
Uber
use
and
that.
InDrive.
But you can also you can trust the taxi drivers.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. Where in the city, we tell you don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they've had some instances of people being assaulted.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Things are different here, and things have changed for people in the city. As
Yes.
more people are going to the city, Panamanian, their lifestyle really is disrupted more. Because you have a lot of people moving here with the assumption that everyone's going to be speaking English.
Don't know why they would have that expectation, right?
I don't know, and language is one of my big things. And so, and two, they're feeling the squeeze, the cab drivers are feeling the squeeze from the Ubers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so their lifestyles have changed drastically because of the influx of people in the cities. We don't have that here because we don't have that kind of influx.
Right.
We do have, Costa Verde, and that's a big area.
Have you had some newcomers or expats in your area?
Not in this particular,
this
but
particular.
Panama Oeste, yes, we have our own WhatsApp board now.
Okay. Hey.
So, yeah, there are several of us that live in barriadas, around here. Yeah.
Okay, have you noticed any difference in crime? I know in your area you probably don't.
Yeah,
hear that.
and no, no, because
And I
you can't
noticed-
see the guard gate, and we're surrounded by old woods.
And that's
so no one can come over the fence. I'm just saying, because it's a dead drop outside there.
Right.
Okay, it's a dead drop. So no one can be coming over that fence.
Unless you're a wild
Yeah,
animal.
unless and we do have some snakes. Just saying. But yeah, but no, we have
He's
not
got
had
a
increase.
that turtle. We're gonna take a picture of. Is it Phillips? What's his name again?
Speed.
Speed. We're gonna take a short video of Speed. Speed. lifted
Okay,
up its
okay,
head.
okay.
I said, "Hola." But you're not bothered by
No,
crime
Not
here.
no, not at all, really.
And one thing I noticed, Ife, I'll go to some communities in the city that are not in the high-rise
Right.
areas. But the wrought iron, I mean, they have bars on everything.
That's right, yeah.
If it's a two-story home, I mean, they have bars all the way, every window. And I feel some kind of way about that.
Well, the people do they're cercas, they're called cercas.
Cercas?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what they call a fence
Mhm,
around.
mhm.
And they do some of
Well,
the
the
big
fence
stuff.
is one thing. I'm
You know.
talking about the whole house to
Oh,
get in.
yeah, well, yeah,
You've
no.
seen them, right?
No, I don't think so.
Remember I mentioned that when we were coming from Altos, from our sister's house, and I'm saying, why do you have all the bars? And
Oh, wow.
remember
No,
that?
no,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no.
She doesn't have that here.
No, we don't have that here. Not
okay.
going all the way up.
So what else have you seen that has cemented for you your experience here as now a resident?
Well, I wanted to tell about Ken and saving
Okay,
Ken's
that's
life.
fine.
I want to say this because
He loves to tell that story.
this Panama literally saved my husband's life. He had hepatitis C because he had been a heroin user early in his life. And we came here, and Dr. Carreño, shout out to Dr. Carreño. Dr. Carreño told Ken, I can cure you. And I had never heard cure before. And so because I am a researcher, I asked Dr. Carreño to give me the research on it, on the drug and the outcomes and all of that. And I looked over, they had 15 years worth of positive outcome from this particular drug. And so I agreed, because I was paying for it. I agreed that Ken could get this, and Ken did get this treatment, which took about 6 months and
Was it
cost
like
about $10,000. Well, it was a drug that he had to take.
Yeah, through the vein.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And so we did that for 6 months, and it stopped the Hep C, and his liver started rebuilding itself. And this was a treatment that was not cleared in the United States at the time. And ultimately, a friend of ours did it in California, and he paid $30,000. I paid $10,000 for my husband's treatment, and he is cured from Hep C. And that was solely because of
What?
the Panamanian doctor said, I can cure you. And I said, what?
But I've heard stories of people who have had a condition where they were not denied, or just said, we can't treat you. And then they come here and they do it. There's a sister who had like a back situation and no doctors would touch her. And she came here and they did surgery. They did surgery. So
yeah.
These are the kind of things you always kind of take into consideration. That's why we bring you those inspiring stories for you to know that yes, it's hard leaving home, leaving your
Yeah,
family,
it is.
but there is a lot more you can gain on this side. So to wrap it up, Ife is into Aisha, AI. Oh God, I love the way they say it in Spanish, la IA.
Yeah, yes.
But she is vibrant, and this is what moving abroad does because on our channel we talk about the single older woman. We want to age gracefully like fine wine. I'm 68. I know I don't look it, even though I have the bangs under the
77.
the-
Shout out to the 70s. Amen.
I mean, seriously, right? Just the fact that she mentioned that weight being lifted, it's going to improve, prolong your life.
It does.
You just don't realize
You
that.
don't
And when
know.
you're under it, I mean, now they do.
Yeah,
Because people are just
because
like,
it's
oh,
so
it
heavy."
feels so bad. It's
Yeah.
so heavy these days, right?
Yes.
But this is what I'm saying. When I was in my 50s, I had like an aha moment, scales fell off, and I'm like, wait a minute, right? But not everybody is that lucky because you're so into that, sit on that wheel of just doing. You never take time to think through stuff. So we kind of admire each other, and because she knows a lot more. And I love the fact, I mean, I love this city, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But to be able to be somewhere where it's quiet and you have a guard and you can manage your transportation and your, clinic and doctors and this, because this is
And
what
it's
you need.
1/3 of the price out here to live out here than in either direction.
Okay, now,
Just saying.
now wait a minute. Now you're talking, you might have a new resident. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, for real.
Because you know what we are looking for in SWRA is to live in community where people can make their little dollars stretch.
That's right.
So it gives me something to think about, right? And
Now with the metro coming out here, it'll be 35 minutes to Albrook once the metro
but
is
I bet
finished.
you those prices are gonna start
Well,
going up.
some have gone up just a little bit because we know that the metro is coming.
Right.
You know.
I'll be on that metro.
Oh,
So when I say, hey,
I just have to go to the corner and get on the train and I'll be at Albrook, in a half an hour. Love it.
I can't wait.
Love it. And so it will increase the availability of this area
mobility.
for people who want to live outside of the city. I'm from New York, and for me, it's about access. It is about being able to get to what you want to get to. It is not necessarily living there. It's about being able to
But
get to it. And that's what this does for me, even now.
Right, what the metro is gonna do also is all those workers who have to get up at
Oh my
4
gosh!
o'clock.
I mean, all the Panamanians. It is a boon for the Panamanians.
And the line.
Getting around. Oh my gosh!
So hard
This will be
for them.
it has been great, groundbreaking because we were here when the metro
I
came.
can't
The
wait.
metro was not here. We were here before the metro.
Right.
We were here before city buses.
Before line one.
Oh my gosh! And when the metro came, it was so wonderful. People were bringing their grands and their great grands. Go muy rápido en el futuro. I mean, they were just futuroing, and it was just their pride.
We're gonna have more Futuro.
The pride of the Panamanians was just we would just go just to see them enjoy the metro because
I'll just get on just to see.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful when the metro came here. It was because it's the only one in Central America.
So we're looking forward to that. But to wrap it up, is there anything you could say to someone like me or someone who's a new expat about what the long range view is of being here in your beautiful Panama?
I say slow down. Be prepared to slow down. Because things don't happen that fast.
Listen.
They just don't. And I'm from New York.
Ooh.
And so I'm used to think.
How long did it take you to kind of slow down?
It's funny because because I still walk so fast. You know what I mean? And so they point me out because, I got that, got that roll.
Spring in her step.
Got that roll, but I think that being prepared to slow down, because lines.
I call it manage your expectations.
Absolutely. That's why we say TIP. This is Panama. And to us, that means just understand that there's a different pace, there's a different style, and it'll all work out.
It will work out eventually. Just slow down.
It will work out.
Okay.
That and having some kind of grasp of the language, being able to say, please, thank
I
you.
didn't pay her to
Excuse
say
me.
that.
please, thank you, excuse me, just major things.
And I think that probably helped your experience, just the fact that you had some
Oh, yes,
mastery of the language.
absolutely.
And also and sometimes it's hard for me to translate to people the importance of being able to communicate
Absolutely.
in a new country. And that's why my experience and her experience probably is different from somebody who doesn't speak a lick of Spanish. And I teach some online, but what I see is a lack of commitment to the process of learning it.
And see, yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean? They start,
absolutely.
they stop, and they get caught up in those little apps. And I'm like, you're missing out.
And, for me, it is about respect. Respect for the people who inhabit the country that you are living in. It is simply about respect. In Espanol, respeto.
Respeto, sí.
About
Oh,
respect.
thank
I
you.
love the Panamanian people.
You
I
love the
their
weather,
energy,
you
their
love
vibe.
the food.
Absolutely. I thought,
You love
because I don't like
people.
Florida, I thought that the heat would bother me, just being the same thing all the time, because I'm used to changing seasons, I'm from New York.
I know.
So, but the weather, the people, the people and their
And she's a quilter, so look at all
Oh, yeah.
her
my
artwork.
quilts.
So what about healthcare? Have you had any challenges
Well,
accessing besides your husband?
I have not
Okay.
had any, I've got a wonderful doctor.
Is your doctor
that I
in
use.
Costa Verde?
Yeah, she's kind of close to Costa Verde. She has one.
And you've had her for a while?
I have been with Dr. Young. She's extraordinary.
Have you ever had to be admitted to the hospital?
No.
No. See? And you're vegetarian, right? Or
I'm
vegan?
vegan. Mhm.
She's vegan.
I
Okay.
am vegan. And I exercise.
And look at her. Not probably 10% body fat, okay? So that's wonderful. Respect the language,
That's
you
it.
have access, and the fact that she's from New York and she's used to a slower pace and she was able to find something similar where her spirit can slow down. So,
I'm a suburban gal.
yeah.
And this is the
And
suburb.
this is the suburb. Okay, so she's got it.
And I'm half an hour from the best beach and a half an hour from the city. It's about access.
She's in the middle. So there's nothing you struggle with over here.
No.
No.
I mean, because I understand, how Panamanians roll,
And you've already slowed down.
and
So
I slow
you
down.
roll with
I
it.
understand. And also, I have Panamanian friends who I call upon to ask if,
Or for help.
if I
and
need
you're
assistance
distracted.
or anything like that. I have Panamanian friends. And so, I haven't really encountered very many challenges at all.
Well, speaking as a geriatrician, okay, and you're 77, you're in excellent health, but you and I know that things might happen in the future.
Absolutely.
Do you think about that, and do you plan for anything in case of something changing in your life? It would take just a fall, you
Absolutely.
break something. Or do you think your friends would kind of just gather around you and help you through it?
Absolutely. I know that my
Okay.
local friends would, but also that's why I'm a member of SWRA. I am a member of SWRA. The Panama Golden Girls.
Mhm.
I haven't officially joined them, because yes, things can change. Things will change. I have my cremation package here. So I plan to die here and enough money to fly me back here in case I die somewhere else. But, I have an army of friends, local friends, and also SWRA and the people abroad. So
you feel supported.
I absolutely feel supported, because if I pick up the phone and call my cross the street neighbor,
They'll be
he'd stop
here.
a train for me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
And
how you feel?
this is
Because I'm connected.
This is it. This is the key as an older single, living alone female, just to create that community, right? Because
Absolutely.
we're not an island. And as we get older, we need folks. So we have to be intentional about that. So I'm just so excited and continually inspired by you, Ife,
Thank
to
you.
see when I'm going to be her age, that I can be as vibrant and active, because that's the goal, right? So thank you so much for opening your home and allowing me to come here. and
Thank you
pick your
very much.
brain.
Thank you for coming.
And
Thank
we
you for
had, it
coming.
was a lovely conversation, and hopefully it inspired someone to say, because this is what SWRA does for me.
Mhm.
When I started SWRA, was that somebody would say, oh my God, I'm 76 and I'm just worried. I see you over there, up there on TV, on YouTube. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I can move abroad.
Right.
And then I come across and I'm like, yes, sis, let me
Yes,
show
it
you how
can
to
happen.
do it, because
Right.
we did it, she did it. So yes, you're going to find community. And this is what SWRA is. We inspire people to do that. And when you
Wow.
get here, we include you in our community, like she said. So be encouraged. We are here. We're doing it. So can you. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you, Ife. And the next person I'm hoping to interview, she agrees, is our sister who's going to have her 80th birthday.
90th birthday. Thank you very much. Janet Nick.
90th birthday.
Janet Nick.
And next month. I
That's
mean,
right.
I am beside myself.
Janet Nick is a treasure.
She
A
drives.
treasure.
She drives.
That's
So
right.
I know she's got her hands full now. I'm not going to ask her now.
I know, because she's coming up to the
she's
show.
the birthday
the
party.
birthday.
So after the party, I'd love you to see this lady.
A
Gorgeous.
treasure. Oh, gosh.
Did I say she
So
drives?
sharp. She drives. I mean, so sharp, politically sharp and engaged. Janet Nick is wonderful. Her 90th birthday.
So
coming up
y'all
next
have
month.
no excuse.
That's right.
Okay, I don't want to hear it. Oh, I heard here and this. I don't want to hear it, because if Janet, and she's been here longer than
She's
you.
been here close to 20 years. She was here when I got here. She was one of the
I
first
mean,
people.
talk about pioneers.
She was here.
We are here, ladies. We are here, and you can too. Okay. But anyway, so thank you for being with us today, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Say bye.